quite a range there. What?
And in that particular one, because we were talking about building a ramp for a new canoe launch, it seemed that moving that dirt back and forth, made some sense there.
Yes, yeah, this, and I'll show it. So our two things that we settled on, thought were the best option would be put a larger portable pump in this area. You can get those portable pumps fairly reasonable, and they're flexible in terms of where you use them. The other would be to increase the flex storage. It would be just west of the wastewater treatment plant here. And as Steve said, our costs assume that this is a kind of its own independent project. If you've got another project going on where you can use this fill, there could be cost savings there. Yeah. It assumes we've got a separate project. We're hiring a contractor to come in there, haul that fill out, dispose of it somewhere, and revegetate it. So there's opportunities for savings. And these measures would protect the 3 homes over here by the wastewater treatment plant, but they wouldn't be enough to protect this trailer park area and the fertilizer plant. To do that, our costs we need more of a permanent pump station, and your costs are starting to get up on the high end of that 395 to 2.5 million range. So we feel with these 2 improvements, we can protect these 3 homes. And the other advantage it is it lowers the risk for all these other homes shown in yellow, and it lowers the risk for those the trailer park there. It wouldn't completely get them out of that floodplain.
Can you talk a little bit about how those 2 areas are actually connected hydraulically? Because it doesn't necessarily look that way. Right.
Yeah, there's several culverts that run in the ditch here and connect this area. Let me show you. Yeah.
To that pump station by the Quick Trip.
The pump station is here. So yeah, so it flows here, flows down the ditch, and then to this area down here, which then, is connected to the pump station by Quick Trip. So it's kind of a series of ditches and storms. And we looked at several options to maybe segregate the 2, manage one flood level here and another flood level there, thinking that there may be some cost savings there, but that didn't pan out.
We looked at lowering to that ditch area by the fertilizer plant. We looked at creating a ponding area, more uphill to capture that water before it gets down into that area.
Yeah, and they're just that.
Yeah, we looked at trying to shed the water more to the east, around Hamels, but
6 or 8 different things there to try and.
They finally told me to be quiet.
Well,
I kept telling them, keep looking.
I kept telling people too to keep looking. Can't we do this? Well,
so under Highway 43, then there's a culvert.
Yes.
Yes. Connecting these 2 here, right?
We thought if there's a way you could close that off and pump both of them out.
Right.
But you're talking building at least 1, probably 2 more of those pump stations, permanent ones.
So east of 43 and that, where we always dump the snow, how much would you take out of that?
I think we had 12,000 cubic yards.
So that would lower it how much, yeah?
I think it was, I believe it was around a foot. It may have been up to 2 feet in spots. And it was, I think we were shooting for more like a flat bottom, so it may be 3 feet in some spots. But over the kind of the flatter area at the bottom here, I believe it was around a foot or 2 that we would be taking.
And my response was dig deeper, but it gets to the point where you have water coming up, and you also get too close to the levee, and it causes some structural issues on the levee. So we can't really dig a whole lot deeper than what we've already got.
So if you remove that soil in there, will that solve the problem?
Oh, it'll create more flood storage, yes. Yeah. So that'll lower the flood level.
So would FEMA be satisfied with that?
Yes.
So how far away do you have to stay from the levee if you excavate that dirt?
we haven't done that evaluation, we made kinda some assumptions going into this, so we feel we could get enough excavation here and stay far
Good.
enough away. We haven't done the math on is it 40 feet or 60 feet or 80 feet.
Without affecting the toll,
Exactly,
that's what you're
yes,
talking about,
yeah.
the toll of
on
the
the interior.
levee.
But we feel that we can excavate enough out of that behind the car wash to pull those three buildings out.
Yeah,
So that would be the least expensive way to go, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And it has the desired effect. But on the other side, where the fertilizer plant is and the mobile homes, there doesn't seem to be much we can do there.
But as you said, that all drains down
Over to
Toward
this
the
area.
creek.
over to this area,
Yeah.
so.
What I'm saying is, we can get these three structures out of needing to get flood insurance, but the fertilizer plant and the mobile homes is a different issue. Those are probably gonna require.
Yeah, cause these homes are not, you know, lowering it a half a foot, I don't remember the exact numbers, but somewhere around a half a foot gets these three homes out. To, you know, get those out over by the fertilizer plant, you know, we're talking a couple feet. It's just lower over there. So in order to lower that whole flood level over the whole area a couple feet, you need a really big pump to keep up with, cause you've got flow coming from, you know, off of the hillside, and the whole part of the city protected by, you know, by this levee, you know, so you got runoff from that whole area that these pumps have to keep up. And to lower those flood levels 2 to 3 feet requires some massive pumps. So that's why the cost to protect this area here is rather expensive.
As I recall, we've never had the trailer park flooded outside of the big one,
Okay.
has it? That was in 68. 69 they were finished today.
Okay. So that, yeah,
Is
that's,
the,
Mhm.
is, just a question, the storm drainage that comes off of Highway 30, does that dump into that trailer park area, or does it
Some of it
continue
does.
all the way down
No, some
Jesse
of it,
Street?
some of it does.
But whereabouts is the break there? Do you
Probably
remember?
right around in front of my house.
Okay.
It collects. Cause we looked at diverting as much of that as we could, it's not feasible to do it. Not without those huge pumps.
right.
so,
And the amount of time, you know, that this happens, to put a couple of $1 million worth of pumps down there that just sit there, it's hard to justify.
So the portable pumps that would be necessary, does the city have to own those? And have those in their
Available.
possession all the time,
Right.
or can we do like what happened during the flood?
If you
Pull
if you
in a
do
bunch of
that-
farmers with their
Yeah.
big overhead pumps and,
I've been involved in one other contract where they allowed that. You have to demonstrate several things. One is that you've got adequate lead time to do that. The other situation I was on the Minnesota River, where we were able to demonstrate that, you know, there's flood forecasts that come out, you know, a week before the flooding happens. And then the city had to demonstrate that, yes, they have a contract with this company to provide the firm, or the pumps, so that they do that. So that, in this case, you may be able to demonstrate that for the Root River, but I think it would be hard for Rush Creek, cause it tends to be a fairly flashy system.
After the flood, we bought 2 big
Mhm.
pumps.
Those are
with our
factored in.
grant money.
Those, yeah, that's
So you've
factored
already
into
got
this.
that.
Yeah, we need more.
That same size or bigger than that even?
Bigger ones, yeah, we'll show that at the end. The plan is to move the 2 over to Levy D,